Hello everyone, welcome to Foekoe Gaming channel where I make shitty garbage game reviews. Today we're gonna review Resident Evil Requiem. I completed this game in 3 days and I'm here to say that it's a banger. This is a really fun, high quality and just addictive game. I fully completed it, did everything, got all the achievements in 25 hours. Yeah, I mean, it's really good. But before I start diving into the grime of this game, I do want to quickly go over my personal experience with the entire Resident Evil franchise, because I didn't play all of the games, but I've played like a decent chunk of them. I think the first title I played was Resident Evil 5. I installed it again just to check out like the first 10 minutes of it, and I remember liking it. Like, I played it originally in 2008 when I was like 8 years old. It scared the living hell out of it, but I do remember liking it. I played it together with my cousin again in 2018, so it's been a while already. I like it, but it's so bombastic over the top. I guess that's the fun part about it, but a lot of the horror of it got kind of swiped under the rug. Besides that though, the other game that really got me into the series, like many other people, is Resident Evil 7. This is a fantastic game, and I played it just before Village launched, and I remember just adoring this game. It was so much fun. I enjoyed it so much that immediately after it, I started playing the Resident Evil 2 remake, which I also really loved. Then I played Village, because, you know, Village, that's a soundtrack. Then I played Village, and I remember really liking Village, but I do think Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 2 remake are better. But after that, Resident Evil 4 Remake released. This is my favorite Resident Evil game of all time. It is so absurdly good. I think, if I remember correctly, I fully completed this game in, well, it was like 8 days or like a week time. I was so incredibly addicted to it that I got all the achievements for it. And I think it was like 70 hours. It got a bit more because it had like a DLC, Separate Ways, a couple of months later. That was like $10, which was also great. But I love this title so much that it became my favorite Resident Evil game of all time. Goddamn, is it so absurdly addicting. So when I heard that Resident Evil 9 was gonna have the best parts of the Resident Evil 4 remake with the best parts of Resident Evil 7, I was really excited. I mean, I already, like, after I played this game, I already got hooked on the entire series, and I really want to dive into the previous titles. I wish they would make like a legacy collection of the first 3 games. Maybe that's in the work or something. But when I heard that it's gonna have the best parts of RE4 Remake and RE7, I was just instantly sold. I was so incredibly excited for it, man. It's probably like one of my most anticipated games of the year, together with Mugenics. And after fully completing it, you know, getting all the achievements, because that's what I do here. I like to collect the achievements, fully experience the games to its fullest. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. This is definitely one of the better Resident Evil games out there. This series doesn't really have a lot of stinkers. There's a few. You got this piece of garbage that actually got delisted. You can't play it anymore. I do get all the achievements for it, so yay! You got this Abomination, which is something, and you also got Umbrella Corps and like a bunch of other schmuck. There are definitely some stinkers here. Most of it, though, is pretty good. I mean, Resident Evil 6 is a bit of a mixed bag from what I've heard. I remember playing the demo of this on my Xbox 360 all the way back in the day, but most of them are good. So when I say that Resident Evil Requiem is one of the better ones, that should say a lot in a franchise with games that are all bangers. With that being said, though, I do have a few issues with it that I want to go over, but before I do that, I do want to go over my main enjoyment of the game, because again, I think it's really good, I think it's very enjoyable, and I want to talk about that first. So the main gameplay of Resident Evil 9, Resident Evil Requiem, is split into 2 parts. Both play very different. They actually also play as a different character. I'm pretty sure most of you saw like the marketing of this game. You have 2 main characters. You got Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 4, which his gameplay is very action focused, and a new character called Grace Ashcroft, if I remember correctly, and her gameplay is very survival horror oriented. So Leon's gameplay is very much like Resident Evil 4, and Ash's gameplay is very much like Resident Evil 7 or Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil Village. It's very survival horror-esque, very slow. You're exploring these mansions, collecting items, avoiding shooting zombies so you can manage resources and save ammo. You're backtracking a lot through these areas that are also really detailed and a lot of fun to explore. Leon's part, on the other hand, is all like going guns blazing, you know, you're parrying chainsaws, doing nasty ass action moves. There's this one like parry you can do where you just kind of shoot a zombie in the head with a cool-ass camera angle. It's really, really dope. You get like a big axe that he actually gets a whetstone out and he sharpens it. It's so goddamn stupid. He has all these like quirky little lines. I think both styles of gameplay are really fun, like really, really fun. And the way the transitions between them is also done very well. I was a little worried about it at first because it's so different, but the way they did it, it's actually pretty good. It takes the best parts of Resident Evil 7 Village and the best parts of the RE4 remake and makes this little package that's just really, really enjoyable to zoom through. I do think this is one of the more safer Resident Evil games, if that makes sense. They don't really like, I don't know, reinvent the wheel, but I think it does have a unique identity, if it makes sense. There isn't really any other Resident Evil game where the gameplay between characters is so different. I mean, I guess this game, but no one likes this game. I think Chris Redfield drowns if he falls into water, which is like really funny. I mean, I just wanted to look it up and see, right? Look at this. It's so fucking funny. Oh, no. He just drowns. He doesn't know how to swim. This guy knows how to punch a boulder, but he can't swim. Okay, man, whatever. When it comes to mechanics, though, there's also like a lot of cool, unique things about Resident Evil Requiem that the series hasn't really done. Like, as Grace, you have a currency called infected blood. You get like a little syringe, and once you kill a zombie, they drop a little blood, and you can get that syringe, suck up some blood, and you can use that blood to craft items with. So it's basically a sort of currency. I thought that mechanic was really well implemented, and I think it's also really fun going back to previous areas you've already explored to collect some of that infected blood so you can craft some new items. The hand cannon being passed along Leon and Grace, I thought that was really cool because that gun is actually named Requiem, like the title of the game, you know. Requiem apparently has like a double meaning. It has something to do with like Catholic imagery, but it also means like an act or a token of gratitude. And because the gun is called the Requiem, seeing it being passed along Grace and Leon, that's really cool. I really like the idea of that, like the imagery of it. Like Leon sees Grace being in trouble and he's like, hey, here, have my gun to protect yourself. It's really cool, and you also get to use that gun a lot. In the first half, you play as Grace mostly, and you get the hand cannon, but the second half is more Leon focused, but thankfully, Grace gives it back to Leon, so you still get to play with the hand cannon. I think that's neat, and you have a lot of opportunities to properly use that hand cannon. I think in the Resident Evil 4 remake, they also have a hand cannon, but you aren't able to use it a lot because the ammo for that thing is like really, really scarce. In Resident Evil Requiem, you can keep popping that thing left and right. You don't have infinite ammo, but you have a lot of opportunities to use it, which it's just really fun to use the strongest weapon in the game so often. It's cool. Leon also gets like a little tracker, and every time you get a kill, you get some currency that you can use to upgrade your weapons or buy new weapons. The way that is done, it's definitely like a little less complex as Resident Evil 4, but it's still good. The survival horror aspects of Grace, like exploring the first mental hospital you're in, is one of the highlights of this game. I think that's probably like the strongest gameplay aspect of Resident Evil Requiem, but my personal favorite moment of this game is going back to the RPD. This is such a cool, like nostalgic, like chicken skin goosebump moment. I'm not sure how you want to exactly say it. I don't even have a lot of nostalgia for Resident Evil 2, but the way they did it in Requiem, while it is very brief, it is really, really cool, and I loved it. Like, you go back to the RPD and you're exploring it, it's all completely destroyed, everything is thrown all around. There's like the welcome Leon sign from RE2 is still there, but now it says Leon welcome. Exploring all the offices and seeing Jill's head there, and the library, you actually need to use the item used in Resident Evil 2 to open some gates. In this game, the way it's done is just great. There is like a big spoiler near the end of this section that I won't get into, but if you know, you know. And it's awesome. It's so cool. I keep saying cool in this review, but that's just the best way how I would describe Requiem with one single word. This is a really cool game. It's really fun. There's a lot of really creative, absurd, over-the-top moments. This is a great game. Lots of secrets to discover, puzzles to solve that gives you bonus awards. It's really good, and it feels like a nice follow-up to Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil, the remake specifically. And it's a fantastic game. With that being said though, there are some things I'm a little mixed on that I would like to go over. Before I start diving into some of the things I'm more mixed on, I do want you to keep it in the back of your mind that I enjoyed this game to an absurd level. I really did. But I think my biggest issue with this game is that Leon's segments are not as good as RE4 Remake's sections. It is definitely like a lot more stripped down compared to that game. In Resident Evil 4, you had like so many ways to engage in fights. There were like little chandeliers you could drop on enemies. In the first arena, like the little village, there's like a cow that can kick zombies around. You can kick the ladders over. There were like a lot of things to interact with in this game, and I thought that really added a lot to the entire experience. Requiem doesn't really have that. You also just have less weapon variety. Like it has like 2 weapons for each category. Like you have 2 pistols, 3 shotguns, you got 2 snipers and 2 machine guns, and I think the weapons are fun. Resident Evil 4 just has so much more variety. I guess it makes sense though, because it's only half of the game. Leon's part is not the full experience. Grace also plays a big role, but I don't know. If I want a more action-focused Resident Evil, I recommend playing Resident Evil 4. If you want like a bit of both, I think this is a good substitute. There's also a big segment once you're done with Grace's part, where as Leon, you go to Raccoon City. You're not immediately at the RPD yet, and you reach this part where you're kind of exploring the city of Raccoon City. Like it's just a random street, and all you do in that section, while the gameplay I think it's very fleshed out and really fun, like killing a bunch of zombies and exploring the area, the goal you have to achieve is make a little tracker so you can explode a bomb to open a gate. That's kind of a lame reason to explore that area, in my opinion. I feel like if that area had more of a reason to be explored instead of I need to open a gate, I would have liked it more. I still think that area gameplay wise is really fun. It's just like substance. It doesn't have a lot of substance. Technically though, I know like when you're in the mental hospital playing as Grace, all you're really doing is trying to open a door so you can escape the place. But I feel that that's at least a decent hook. Like you want to leave the place. In the part where you're in the city playing as Leon, it's like build a tracker. Really? That's it? Like, that's all you're doing. Just building a tracker so you can go further. Like, if it just had a bit more substance, I think that whole section would be just fixed for me. I don't think it's bad. It's still really fun to explore and play. But just like something is missing. There's also a child daycare section, and that's probably the weakest part of this game. It's just after the RPD. It's like a little flashback, and you play as a little kid, and you literally sit in a hiding spot for like 4 minutes straight, doing nothing. You're just waiting. On a second playthrough or third playthrough, that part is just like boring. Remove it and the game will just improve. I understand that it has some like lore implications, but it's just lame. Also, Wesker returns. He has like a different name. I don't even remember what his name was, and he just kind of does nothing. In Resident Evil 5, you just like kill him off, and it has like this really like cool ending. But in this game, he just gets like one-tapped with a pistol, and then it's like, yeah, that's it. Like, okay, I know Wesker has like a big history with this game, and apparently there are like clones of him, but the way the clone dies in this game is like, you just get shot in like a cutscene. They build him up as this big villain. It's like, yeah, he's dead. Like, come on, man. Do something cooler with that. I also think the game in general is not as replayable. Like Resident Evil 4, I played this for 84 hours. And even Resident Evil 2 Remake, I played that for 44. I still want to like fully complete Resident Evil 7 and Village. I think that would take like another like 25 hours both. So around 50. I fully completed this game in 25 hours. I only did 3 runs. In comparison, RE4 Remake, I did like 8 runs of that game before I fully completed it. Yeah, it's not as replayable. I do think in Requiem, the first playthrough is the strongest one. And if you compare it to Resident Evil 4, I think the third or fourth playthrough is the strongest one, when you're doing like the most difficult difficulty. In Requiem, you also got like a really challenging difficulty. I think it's called Insanity difficulty. You can see it here. In my opinion, it's just way overtuned. It is so absurdly difficult to the point that it isn't fun anymore. Like, there are enemies that just one-shot you even when you have full health. If you're like missing a small amount of health compared to full, and you just one-shot you. That's really frustrating, and it feels like you need to actually exploit mechanics for you to get good at it. In Grace's section, like normally you get like a gun in the dining section, but if you play on Insanity Insanity difficulty, they move it to the eastward, if I recall correctly. That's just too far. That's way too far. It is so punishing, that difficulty, to the point that I just kind of gave up and I didn't want to do it. What I ended up doing, because I still got the achievement, there's like a little cheat you can unlock for infinite ammo. And if you use that cheat, you can just use the Requiem the entire time, the hand cannon. And I still struggled a lot with Insanity difficulty. That's how difficult it is. That even with the strongest weapon in the game, with infinite ammo, you still struggle with it. That's insane. That is absurd. I think it's way overtuned, and I think they should lower the difficulty of it a bit. I guess it's called Insanity difficulty. I guess it makes sense, but I think it's just a bit too much. I also wish Grace had some more weapons. She has like 3 pistols. 2 of them are just regular pistols, and then the hand cannon. You can unlock like a little machine pistol once you beat the game with some currency you collect, but really? That's it? Just like 2 guns? Like in Resident Evil 7, you at least get like a shotgun that is fun. It definitely feels like both segments, both gameplay styles, they feel very stripped down compared to RE4 and RE7, RE Village. They do take the best parts of those games, but I feel like a lot of the depth these games provides is kind of missing here. I do think the overall package is like very well made though. It's very polished, very fun. It's not bad in the slightest, but like I feel like Leon's sections don't reach the highs of RE4. I do think Grace's parts reaches the highs of RE7 and Village, but I don't know, I still feel like something is missing. Nothing in this game is truly awful. It's still really fun, and I had a blast playing it every single run, all 3 of the ones I did. I just wish it was a little bit more replayable, and I wish Leon's sections were a bit more fleshed out. But besides that, this is a great game, and I highly recommend playing it. Maybe if you're new to the franchise, play RE7 first, or RE2 Remake. Especially if you're really interested in this game, please play RE2 Remake first, because it gives you so much context to this game. Requiem genuinely feels like a proper follow-up of RE2. But it's great, and it's probably like, I don't know, I would rank it between RE2 Remake and RE7. I still think RE4 Remake is the strongest one, but it's good. I highly recommend checking it out. The one thing I am kind of sitting though with this game is, in the future, like in like a few months or even a year, will people look back on this game in the same way they are currently? Because what I think is going to happen, I never think people are going to look at this game and think, yeah, this was actually bad. But I do think, like, currently people are in love with this game, and I completely understand why. It's really fun. I think over time, I think it's going to get a little lower. People will still really enjoy this game, but when the hype dims down a bit, people are going to be a bit more critical of it. I think that's going to happen to this. I would love to be proven wrong though, please. Prove me wrong, I beg of you. Still though, I don't want you to get the wrong idea, okay? I loved it. I adored Requiem. It was really fun, but I would rank it like 4 stars out of 5, so that would be a little lower than what other people would rank it. I would rank Resident Evil 5 a 5 out of star, and the RE2 Remake like a 4.5. Still, it's a fantastic game, and I recommend playing it. It's definitely, so far, one of the best titles I've played of the year. But yeah, that's my stupid review that nobody cares about because I'm a chod. But yeah, so bye. Bye.